Now, we didn't say that it was directly related. We just saying this is the sequence of events and what it could look like if you interpret these events
Oh,
away.
that's right. That's right.
But while you were in
That's right.
Arizona, I do believe you
Yeah, yeah.
said that you fell in love with hip hop. So why don't you tell us a bit more about that?
Yo, let's get to it, right? So we had the box. I don't know if people remember the box. It's just like MTV. The box was like the one you could call up and order the videos, right? But they were showing some underground shit. And I remember my mom had a black and white TV, dog. Like this is how fucking old I am. She had like a small little black and white tube TV in a side guest room, so to speak, whatever. So I go sneak in there and put the box on because my mom was so strict. You definitely ain't watching MTV in front of her. At that time, MTV wasn't even popping like that, right? Like they wasn't really running it. And VH1 was just playing like Madonna and dumb shit. So I wasn't. There was no hip hop anywhere really. Like
Well, that's
MTV
actually
Best was
really
not even
important
close. Mm-hmm.
because I mean, one of the things I've learned is, or it comes up, especially at this time frame, is how hard it is to consume hip hop or even discover it in the
Yes.
first place. Because it's
Yeah.
not like today where everybody's growing up on YouTube, or even when I came up, where like music videos did have a much vibe and an MTV2 and shit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And so like we didn't have that. We had the hardcore. So when you put out a video, it's for the street for real, right? So so I sneak upstairs, go to the box. I be hearing some shit, man. First I started hearing the young, my first concert, and it was in Arizona. My first rap concert was in Arizona. I went to, and it was Crisscross,
Mm.
and it was a pretty good one. I remember me and like this like dude. I think he was probably like my age, 9 or something, and we just ended up like seeing each other because there was mostly girls up in there, right? But we wanted to dance. Like I'm 9, I ain't looking at girls and shit. Like I'm in there just dancing, and literally that's what I was doing, just dancing my fucking ass off to Crisscross. And they had everybody in there though, because like it was still Arizona, still a lot of gang shit going on, whatever. Da, da, da. But everything was safe. So that was one of the first concerts. So after that, I was like, I would go sneak up to my room, go check out the box. Man, it was hardcore West Coast shit, like South Central Cartel, E40, Spice One. You know what I'm saying? Like, DJ Quick, of course, Snoop. Dre was in the mix.
Just
So it was
before,
there was pump.
just to
Mm-hmm.
pause. So Willie wants to know if they made you jump, but also Golden Jenny from Norway is, I like saying that a lot. Saying that it was her first concert too, is Crisscross.
Mm.
But
Tell Willie. Tell Willie. Yes, they made me fucking jump, dickhead. Because if jump is the goddamn number one hit, eventually motherfuckers are gonna jump. You
yep,
know what I mean? It wasn't like House of Pain and shit where you just go and ram the whole song and shit. Nah. Anyway, yeah, they made me fucking jump.
that's amazing.
So, so like, I'm getting the hardcore to box shit. I mean, and I get a couple of East Coast things, but I'm in Arizona. I'm loving Arizona. I'm thinking maybe this is my new home. I'm fucking with kind of the West Coast vibe. Of course, Pac was going crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that must be like,
Whatever.
so you're like 9, 10 as Tupac is coming to fruition.
Coming to fruition, he's just like starting off a little bit. He's not even like really on the West. He just quite yet. Like
Mm,
it's like he had just dropped, I think, Apocalypse Now.
fair
And
enough.
I was like, I just love this voice, you know what I'm saying? I was fucking with it a little bit, but you couldn't really catch it in the box because at the time, West Coast was killing the box. Like they were just ordering shit. It's all you saw. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember one of the tracks that came out hard. The Brat Funktified came out. I went crazy. For whatever reason,
Mm,
I love that shit.
it's a good album though. Or
Yeah. It's a real good album, right? So my first fucking tape, my homie, I don't know how he did it, but he was like, yo, he asked me at school, which my mom, he was my best friend, Chris. But he was from a Chinese cat, literally Chinese cat. And he's like, yo, what do you want for, he was my best friend. He's like, oh, what do you want for your birthday and shit? I was like, and I was like, yeah, I want the Snoop Dogg tape. And I wasn't really thinking back then. I'm like 9, 10 years old. It's doggy style, right? That's the first shit. Unedited, everything.
car-
Bam.
the cartoon porn pamphlet.
Yeah, the cartoon, all that shit, right? So I get the tape deck, it's tape cassette. I got a boombox in my room. And I got these fucking earphones that I got from America West Airlines because we was flying at that time. They would just throw you earphones. So I took them bitches home. I had like 6 of them. I'm bumping that shit. I couldn't stop playing this song. I couldn't stop playing Doggy Style over and over again, right? So, yo, I think it was going on for like a good week and a half. Finally, my mom come in, right? She's like, what are you listening to? I knew I wasn't really supposed to be listening to that shit because she knew who Snoop Dogg was. At this time, Snoop Dogg was like, everybody was like the Snoop Doggy Dogg guy, the character, especially the Christian black, all them, that man that says bitches and whores. And
Yo, they really do.
They went hard.
The Christians really do like, and I say this because I went through the church as a kid too, and I know for a fact that my parents would tap in with the other parents, and they would collaborate on what you were not allowed to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They're like, this is the guy right here. This is the group's. He's bad. Like you couldn't even say the name. You didn't even know. You couldn't even name one song. I don't care. He's bad. So then that resonated because then my mom had to take me to school because it was like a private school, so we had no bus. So she wouldn't even play rap at all, which made me want it even more. Like she would just play, yo, we was in Arizona, the radio station, I'll never forget, bro, because it was pounded in my fucking head. It was K-Light 98.7. That's it. K-Light 98.7 FM. Soft rock. Yo, soft rock all day. All right, BG, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Minute, the Q92.
Minute, minute. Like all this classic rock shit that I had to listen to because I would try to go to the radio and it'd be like 3 songs, and of course then all of a sudden, Dina Howard come on. I'm a freak until the day, turn it off. Boom. Like she was just not into it. But then I was like, she didn't know, she was just feeding my hunger because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catch that shit later on. I'm gonna go later on and put the radio on my earphones and just fucking listen to that shit. So the more she didn't like it, the more I got interested in it. So she comes in the room. All right, what are you listening to? I'm like, bam, Doggy Style. She knows what it is, boom. She says, well, yeah, this is what it is. She takes off the ear jack, boom, plays it. And of course, it's like the worst song. Like, it ain't no fun if the homies gang. Guess who's back in the motherfucking house with a fat dick for your motherfucking mouth? Boom, she pops the goddamn tape cassette. Yeah, breaks it, rips it. Whatever, like you know how Christians do. You gotta destroy it so nobody else will. If I throw it in the trash, somebody's gonna get this garbage.
I legitimately know what the fuck you're talking about. To the letter. My dad used to. I remember him ripping up a book one time.
Yeah, like somebody else is gonna read this shit. Like, come on, yo. So, I mean, she even did that shit with like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, because she didn't know it was as funny as it was. So we watching it. She got so mad she ripped it up. I was just like, yo, that shit is hilarious. But you know how Ace was. Ace was wilding, like, you know what I mean? So back to the music, like, my dad was cool though. See, my dad was cool. So I ride with him, and he'll let me listen to some shit because he knew, like, he wasn't on that. Like, he's like, yo, come on, relax. Like, he around football players. He, just can't be Jamaican, but he get that culture in him. So you don't give, he like, come on, man. Like, you good little kid. Like, he ain't doing shit. Like, relax. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my dad was doing wild shit anyway. So it was just like, when I get in my dad's car, like, he busts out the Cohiba and he'll listen to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it wasn't too bad, because he still don't like that shit, like crazy shit. But like, so that's what happened when I was in Arizona. She just kind of like fed my hunger by not liking it, and I didn't like her. So it was like, because she was so disciplined, I didn't like the church either. Like, y'all gotta be in there. But at the same time, yeah, I went to this church called Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church, bro. My choir was like 70 of us in one choir. This church is big. It was like 70 of us. And like, we went to competitions and we blew it down. Like, it was crazy in Arizona, church choirs. It was like people passing out like from heat and shit. I'm singing so hard, practicing. Like, it was crazy. It was insane. And to have that training, I remember being by the live bands in the choir and listening to them, being intrigued by the bass. You know what I'm saying? Being intrigued by the piano and being intrigued by the drums. Because some of them cats, I remember them cats was like some street cats too. So they would sneak some street shit in once in a while. I remember one time they busted down real quick. They bust G thing in the middle of one show during practice. And I thought they were gonna do it at church, and they did it, but they just snuck it in because it was like, it was just the whole thing came through. We was like, oh, and they just never did it again. But you know how it was, like they had that like. So I felt it. I felt that there was a different type of like vibe out there. I'm like, I don't want to be no fucking gospel singer. I'm not doing this in church, man. I got something else to say if I ever do this. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I was ever gonna be putting out music and doing it for a movement, but I never thought that. I just thought that like I'm not gonna be singing no fucking church choir. I know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna be doing no solo. No, I don't want no solo.
Okay, but here's the thing, man. Church music's fucking weird. Can we just be real for a second?
Yes, it is.
I don't know about like if the Baptist and stuff, it might be a different vibe, but like half the shit is just love songs to God. And I'm not being hyperbolic. It's like, I love you, God. Come hold my hand. Envelop me in your unending love. And it's it's weird. And I don't mean it like...
It's very weird.
Or it'll be like over the hills and on the mountaintops with the sheep. And you're like, what the fuck is this? It's not 87.
No, because you're right. Because, dog, let me tell you, I was in Arizona, right? And my mom put me in this fucking all-white private Christian school. And guess what? I mean, you talking about ready? Our God is an awesome God.
That's my favorite song, though. The techno remix.
That's just kind of gangster. I said, all right, I bang a little bit. All right, I ain't gonna lie, I bang.
But the rest of them, are not.
No, there was one song where like they had us in the choir, right? I forgot who my fucking choir director was, but it was like very caressing and holding, like in your loving, like, and she wanted us to sing it so like, it was just like, no, God does not want you to make love to him. He needs you to work. Bro, get your shit and get together. That's why, like, it was funny because, like, I'm sorry, but like the more conservative European, they'll say, type churches, like with the Christian ones, they were caressing. Whereas, like, the Baptist black is like more like hood, like hard. We gotta get it. We gotta make it, like, because people are fucking like coming in there, they dying and shit. Whereas, like, it felt like this, I just love you so much because my life is so good and that, like, all this shit. Yeah. So it was a difference to me. I didn't like that caressing, holding God shit because I'm coming home and my mom is teaching me like, yo, God will kill you if you sin, or, you better not lie or you will die. Like
that part I do.
10 Commandments.
It was all about your soul will go to hell if you
heaven. You like even to this day, and we ain't gonna get to like fast forward, but like when she was like sees my tattoos. For a while, she used to be like, it's when the Antichrist comes back, he's going to identify you. I'm like, what the fuck?